One of the biggest banks in the crypto world might be at risk of absolutely collapsing. That would be Silvergate Bank. These guys deal with tons of crypto companies, and those companies deal with tons of crypto customers. And now there's a risk that that bank might be going under. I mean, all you got to do is really look at their stock price, which has been absolutely beaten down and battered even over the last week. You can see exactly right here at 1353, and then this news started coming out that these problems were around, and you can see it just absolutely collapsing down, got cut in half basically in one day. And today a little bit of rally, the market rallied, but I mean, I wouldn't call this anything great. You can look at this. If you look at the year, down 95% for the year. This is a terrible thing for a bank. This is a bank. Banks don't move like this. You don't see JP Morgan falling 90% in a year. And then obviously, because of this news and problems going on, you can see things like Coinbase dropping Silvergate for their USD banking partner. They're moving their customers to Signature Bank, which is another like mainstream crypto bank. I think it's Silvergate and Signature. Those are basically the only banks in this space that are playing in this crypto world and providing banking service to these crypto companies. And we can see why right here. The vast majority of crypto-friendly Silvergate Bank's industry clients have left or are leaving the company less than a day after it announced it would have to review its books with its auditors and warned of several headwinds. So the problem here is people thinking they're under collateralized. They don't have as much money as they need to have. And people are withdrawing money. They have daily caps on the money that people can withdraw so that they don't really collapse right away. They're trying to stay around, but they are not in a good position. And obviously, we can see all of the companies that left them. It's Coinbase, Circle, Paxos, Crypto.com, Bitstamp, Cboe, Digital Markets, Galaxy Digital, and Gemini all announced that they would suspend automated clearinghouse transfers and other business operations with the bank. So that's like the entire crypto industry, right? That's the biggest players. They are leaving this banking system. They don't trust it. They don't want to be associated with it if it collapses, if it comes to that, and they don't want to be affected by it if it collapses, and then they lose customers' money, and then these companies are affected. So it's always going to be a problem like that in crypto where everybody is just together. Everyone's intertwined. You can see all of these mainstream exchanges are all using the same bank. They're all in that one banking system. And if a problem happens with Silverbank here, and all of these other companies, Silverbank collapses, all of these other companies, they're all connected. They have problems too. We've already seen this with things like Voyager, Celsius, BlockFi. Those things started collapsing because all of those companies were intertwined together to try and get the yield to give to their customers when it was just really a Ponzi. But there is one major exchange that is sticking with them, and you can see it's Kraken appears to be the only exchange to continue using Silvergate, having ended some transaction with rival bank Signature on Wednesday. So that might be a little weird that they ended things with the other crypto bank and going all in on this one. Maybe that's big problems for Kraken. Who knows? Either way, it's not good for the entire industry. It's not good for anything when a bank is collapsing. And as always, you have everybody coming out saying that we never had any exposure to Silvergate. You can see this is the Tether executive saying Tether has no exposure to Silvergate. We saw this again with Voyager, BlockFi, Celsius, when everyone came out and said, we have no exposure to these guys. And then a month later, all of a sudden, they have problems and they're going under. And this has a pretty insane breakdown of things going on with like Tether and SBF and bank fraud, money laundering. So, it's not the greatest crowd, and everyone's going to be looking out for themselves. No one's going to be trying to defend anyone here, but it's crazy to see the exact same things happening. We saw the BlockFi, Voyager stuff, the companies that were offering yield and doing all this stuff and rehypothecating Bitcoin and even other cryptos they got. And all of them ended up failing because they were all relying on each other. But now we have a pretty similar situation. This bank is all these customers using this same bank could have problems if this one bank ends up having problems themselves. And also you have MicroStrategy. Obviously, everybody's heard of them in Bitcoin and crypto because they are the massive people in like this Bitcoin strategy, hold a ton of Bitcoin on their balance sheet. But they actually they did a subsidiary called MacroStrategy to be like funny or something. But they have chosen or closed a $205 million Bitcoin collateralized loan with Silvergate Bank to purchase Bitcoin. So originally they had that loan and to buy Bitcoin, and they're probably not going to do it. They might have just paid it off, might have paid off whatever they used, because obviously they don't want to be associated with this problem either. And you have some people obviously making fun of Silvergate because of the kind of where we are right now, where you can get like a risk-free return of almost 4% or even more than 4% on bonds. So this person says, step one, you take your USD deposits from crypto firms, pay no interest. Step two, buy 3-month treasury bonds yielding 4.78%. Assume $10 billion of deposits makes $478 million a year. That's all you have to do, which obviously, if you're putting all of your money into the bonds and people want withdrawals, then you might have to sell those bonds. Maybe you have to sell them at a loss. That wouldn't be ideal. That would be very problematic if you had to sell a lot of bonds at a loss to meet withdrawals. You have big problems still too, but they could have done at least something like that where, putting some sort of money into the bonds, because bonds are yielding insane rates right now. And, it's pretty easy to it's a risk-free. It's risk-free. You basically put your money in there, and if you hold it till maturity, you get that interest rate. Maybe you could sell it if you need to. You might lose a little bit, but it's really pretty simple if you want to be safe right now. And we'll end with the rumors. Obviously, if Silvergate's collapsing, they are an FDIC-insured bank. So you can hear this saying rumors that Silvergate will be seized by the FDIC, and Wells Fargo is set to take over customers' accounts. And this talks about some quote about Elizabeth Warren being super going hard against this stuff. But this is, everything is breaking news. Everything is this person's taking over, that person's taking over, Silvergate's collapsing, this and that. Like, nobody actually really knows, right? Everybody's speculating, everybody's guessing, everybody wants to get the news out first. If Silverbank collapses, they are FDIC insured, so, if you have money there, deposits there, it shouldn't be lost up to $250,000. The FDIC comes in, somebody else takes over that bank, and it should keep operating as normal. And anything under $250,000 in an account, you should have insured and get no problem. It's probably going to be a bunch of headaches, though. It's not going to be a fun process to go through, but at least your money should be safe. But it's crazy. One of the biggest crypto banks in the scene, one of the two, at risk of collapsing. If the other one does the same, what does that say for crypto? What does that say for this industry? And overall in general, like this bank collapsing, a bank going under is never a fun thing, always can be problematic. So we'll see what happens. It hasn't collapsed yet. It's looking really, really bad, and it might actually go there. It's going to be crazy to see what goes on and what people have to talk about, and all the hit pieces that'll come out against probably Bitcoin as the biggest, topic to discuss. When Bitcoin has everything to do with it, maybe crypto, maybe the crypto companies, but, everyone's going to have to be talking about this. That's going to do it for this video. As always, don't forget to smash the like button and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next video.